Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mrs. Adams. I'm sorry I couldn't be there today, but I need you to be good. Um, I'm tired of returning and finding out that you haven't been, so please make sure that you are on your best behavior. All right. So I graded your tests from Friday and decided that we are not going to be putting those in the grade book. I missed a lot of school last week, and so I feel like that may have had an impact on your grades. So I'm going to pass those back out to you when I return on Wednesday, and we're going to go over the answers and common mistakes. I'm also going to show you some examples right now and go over some common mistakes that I saw. So if this is our problem, 4x plus 2 minus 5 plus 6x squared plus 2x. First, I have to look for what terms are alike. All right, so I'm going to circle like terms. So 4x is a like term with minus 2x. Now, one of the common things was people were not circling the sign to the left here. Okay, you circle the number plus the sign to the left. All right, so that should be negative 2x. All right, now I also see that I have some numbers that do not have any variables, and numbers without variables are common. They are like terms. All right, so I've also got plus 2, negative 5. They are like terms. And then I've got this one that does not have a match at all. Positive 6x squared. And you might be saying, no, it does have a match. There's an x here and an x there. Those are not matches. Those x's do not have a squared. Do you see this squared right here? That means something completely different. X squared is something completely different. And that square goes with that x. That exponent of 2 goes with that x. It does not go with the 6. It only goes with the x. So these are not the same. Now that we found like terms, we can combine them. So I'm going to start by combining my yellow circle. So I've got 4x and negative 2x. If I think about putting 4x with negative 2x, I have positive 4 and negative 2. I'm adding a negative to positive 4. All right, I'm putting them together. Same sign sum or different signs difference? Well, it's different signs. This one's positive, this one's negative. Different signs difference, I subtract them, so 4 minus 2 is 2. And there are more positives, so this is going to be positive. And now I can bring that x down with it. Next, I'm going to look at what's in my red boxes here. All right, so I've got a positive 2 and a negative 5. Well, again, I'm adding in this negative. All right, different signs because I've got a plus and a minus. So that means I'm doing different signs difference. All right, 5 take away 2 is 3. And should it be positive or negative? Well, it should be negative because the bigger number value here is 5 and it is a negative 5. So this is going to be negative. So we're going to put a negative sign in between them. And you might be like, oh, but that's 2x minus 3. 2x minus 3 and 2x and negative 3 are the same thing. And now we're going to bring that 6x squared down because it doesn't have anybody else that's like it. So we just bring it down and leave it the way it is. All right. So here we go again, another problem with finding like terms. So I've got this negative 10, and I see another number with no variable, and that's positive 10. I can now go in and find that there's also a negative 2x and a negative x. Now I'm ready to put things together. So I'm going to put negative 10 and positive 10 together. Well, negative 10 and positive 10, that's going to be 0. I can put the 0 there, or I can simply just leave it blank. Then I'm going to put negative 2x with negative x. And remember, this is like having 1x. So it's a negative plus a negative. Same signs, same sign sum. I'm going to add them. 2 and 1 is 3x. And it's negative because they were both negative and we added them together. I could write this as 0 minus 3x, or I could just simply have 0 taken out of there and just have it as negative 3x. These are both the same. When it came to order of operations, a lot of you didn't seem to know what to do with your exponents. So we're going to talk about exponents right now. This number right here is called the base. And this number right here is called the exponent. All right, the exponent, and that's supposed to be an n there, sorry. The exponent is telling you how many times you're going to multiply the base times itself. So it's not saying 5 times 2, it's saying you're going to multiply 5 times itself twice. So we're going to do 5 times 5. So 5 squared is equal to 25. Now let's look over here at this one. My base is 2, so that's the number I'm going to be multiplying. My exponent is 4. That means I'm going to multiply 2 times itself 4 times. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Now, watch as I do this. 2 times 2 is 4, and then I'm going to do that again and again. So 4 times 2 is 8. Bring down my other times 2. And then 8 times 2 is 16. There's my final answer. All right. A lot of you were able to tell me what the order of operations were. You told me it was parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, subtract. All right. But then you're not using it properly. So let's talk about this. When we're doing this, we have to do one thing at a time. Some of you are trying to combine a whole bunch of steps together and it doesn't work very well. All right, so we're going to start out. Are there any parentheses? Is the first thing I want to think about. Yes, in fact, there is. I see parentheses right here. So I'm going to do what's in the parentheses first. All right, so I'm going to make a little caret. 6 plus 4 is 10. That is one step. I am not doing anything else except for bringing the rest of the information down. So I'm going to bring down minus 3 plus 5 times 2 to the third power. Okay, now I go back to my order of operations. We've no more parentheses. Are there exponents? Yes, there are. So we're going to do the exponents. The exponents are right here. We're just going to do that one step. So 2 to the third power. Remember, that means 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. So this is going to be 8, and I bring everything else down. Times 5 plus 3. Bring down my minus sign and my 10. Okay, now I look at my list and I go, okay, is there any more parentheses? No. Are there any more exponents? No. Is there multiplication or division? Oh, there is, right here. So I'm going to do that next. 5 times 8, that is equal to 40. I'm going to bring down my plus sign, my 3, my minus sign, and my 10. All right, back to order of operations. Are there any parentheses? No. Exponents? No. Multiplication or division? No. So now we're going to add and subtract from left to right. So That doesn't mean add first, then subtract. It means add and subtract in the same step or not in the same step, but from left to right. So I'm going to start on the left, and the first thing I see is actually a subtraction problem. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do 10 minus 3 is equal to 7. I bring down my plus sign, I bring down my 40. This is when it finally gets super easy because there's only one thing left to do. 7 plus 40, and that is going to be equal to 47. It's incredibly important that we do things in the right order, that we take only one step at a time. Taking more than one step at a time is going to lead to problems. It's going to lead to mistakes. You should have this shape when you're done. It should look like an upside down pyramid or like a V, because you want to show that you're doing one step at a time, and each time you're getting a step closer to having the solution. Okay, when you're doing order of operations, take your time. Take your time. Do the problem right. Parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, subtract. A lot of you are doing the first step and then just solving from left to right, or you were trying to do a whole bunch of steps all at once. We don't do that. One thing at a time. Very, very important. All right. I'm going to stop here, and now you're going to do a few practice problems.